Hi, it's that fantasy chick, and we're back with another week with another stream. Um, and I didn't get a chance to binge watch this week because I had a very busy weekend. I went to this thing called the Chosen Few Picnic. In Chicago, we have this thing called house music. Started in Chicago, and they have this house music picnic every single year, and it's called the Chosen Few. This year was my first time ever going. My sister and brother-in-law goes every year, so they invited me to go with them this year. So I got a chance to go and see the phenomenon that is the Chosen Few picnic. It was really cool. I went, I played the lottery, so let's keep our fingers crossed that I hit that big mega million. Draw is tomorrow. I'm seriously waiting on that draw for tomorrow for the lottery. But BB Winans performed because gospel music is intertwined with house music, apparently. Never knew this. Never knew this. But the mayor was there, but I didn't see him because by the time he came, there's an area with the stage, and my sister took me around to see all the areas because they were in the areas where all the tents and stuff were, which was good because the first half of the day it was raining. And when it stopped raining, she took me around to see what the stage area, the dance floor, and all that. And and you could walk through it, and it was a lot of space. And then she was like, after the sun came out, was out for a while, she was like, it's wall to wall, people. You can't walk through that anymore. And I was like, well, that's not my scene. I can't deal with wall to wall people like that. So I stayed in the tent with the food. We barbecued, and we had food, and we had drinks, and it was nice, because they had speakers set up all over the park, so you could still hear the music even if you weren't on the dance floor. You could still hear music all over the park. So you could sit in your tent with your grill, and you barbecue, and you eat, and you could chill and still listen to the music. And I thought that was nice. It was a nice experience. There was chill times. I was able to sit, read, or congregate, whatever. It was chill. I liked it. And um and then there was some other things. There was beyond doing it. I feel like I was doing something every day. I had errands to do before I went to the picnic, and then I had errands to do the next day. So it was just so much. I didn't get a chance to binge watch this weekend. So today we're going to talk about Harry Potter again. I did a video on Harry Potter and my thoughts on this reboot. So that was last Friday's video, my thoughts on the reboot. But today we're going to talk about Harry Potter's family, his extended family. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about, of course, James Gunn and his love of giving us snippets of information about his movies on social media. And he did something on Superman Legacy on Blue Sky. It is. So James Gunn is on Blue Sky, which means people are now going to have to get on Blue Sky. I'm already on Mastodon. I don't know if I want to go to Blue Sky. I'm hardly on Mastodon though. I was looking for a place to be other than Twitter, um, because Twitter is kind of a dumpster fire right now. Now he's limiting the number of tweets you look at per day. Really, son? Really? So yeah. huge dumpster fire. So I was looking for another place to be. I was trying out Mastodon, and it was nice. It's a place, it's safe. Since it's open source, you won't have to worry about somebody selling it again, because the same person who sold Twitter owns Blue Sky. And so that's why I'm sort of hesitant to jump to Blue Sky. Here we go. Superman Legacy will skip the origin story. Now, what was it? It was during my birthday stream. My sister was like, "Oh, I hope they don't start, do the whole origin story all over again, because we've seen that so many times." So they're not doing the origin story. They're going to skip. This is according to, so let's go down here, Superman Legacy. In response to a fan of on Blue Sky, James Gunn promised his upcoming Superman movie does not retell the character's origin story. Home of DCU. No origin story for Superman. Please use the opening 2 pages of All-Star Superman as his whole origin in the movie. James Gunn. I think we've seen his origin enough in film at this time. Gunn additionally revealed he's now developing a unique score for the project with an undisclosed composer. James Gunn says that they are already developing a score for Superman Legacy. It will be a unique path. I guess that means they're not going to go back and use the same, build off the score from the 1978 Superman, which everyone does. They're going to come up with new music. Do you have any idea what direction you're going in with the score for Superman Legacy? I'm hoping for an epic theme. I have more than an idea. We are, as usual, already developing score and taking a unique path. So he is, so he's not going to retell the origin story, which is great. We've seen it a million times. We don't need to see it again. And he's coming up with a unique score. So he's not going to do the same iconic Superman score. He's not going to build off the same iconic Superman score from the 1970s Superman that everybody has been doing, pretty much since the 1970s. Everybody has been using that score. That's pretty much defined the Superman score since then. So this will be interesting. He's starting fresh, completely fresh, and like we're doing new music and everything, unique theme. So this will be interesting. Okay. So on to Harry Potter. So some years ago, I asked a question about Harry Potter's extended family in a video. I'm going to play that video, and then I'm going to go to the answer that I was able to find to that video. We'll see how satisfying an answer it is, but it was the answer I was able to find. And it's from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So it's about as official as I can get of an answer. So, outside of getting it from J.K. Rowling's mouth herself. So let's share screen.
Recently, I did a novel versus adaptation for Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. One difference that I didn't get to mention was when Harry first looks into the mirror of Erised. which is desire, if you can't read backwards. In the movie, when Harry looks into the mirror, he sees his parents. But in the book, when he looks into the mirror, he sees his parents, and standing behind him, he sees the entire Potter family, all dead now. The main point of the series is that Harry has to live with his maternal Muggle aunt because he has no other family. So my question for the Harry Potter scholars out there is, how did all the Potters die? In the books, we learned that Potters were a pureblood wizarding family, one of the oldest wizard families around. And in the Deathly Hallows, we learned that they are possibly descended from the Peverell brothers from the Deathly Hallows legend. The wizarding community is somewhat small, and chances are, if you're a pureblood, you're related to other purebloods out there. For example, Sirius Black, Harry's godfather. His first cousin is Bellatrix Lestrange, and her sister is married to Lucius Malfoy, which connects Harry to his, nemesis Draco through his godfather. I feel like there would be something like that with the Potters, that they would have, a bunch of other wizards, relations out there. If not an actual, family, he should have a gang of distant cousins out there somewhere. So, what really happened to the Potters? Did they all die out naturally, or was it some huge tragic event? If you know, please let me know in the comments, inbox me, send me a video, just anything. Please let me know. I'm really wondering what happened to the Potters.
Okay. So that's the question. What happened to the Potters? What happened to the Potters? What happened to them? And so this was the answer that I was able to find on the Wizarding World. Okay. Originally published on Pottermore. Okay, so the Potter family is a very old one, but it was never until the birth of Harry James Potter at the very forefront of wizarding history, contenting itself with a solid and comfortable existence in the backwaters. Potter is not an uncommon Muggle surname, and the family did not make the so-called Sacred 28 for this reason. The anonymous compiler of that supposedly definitive list of purebloods suspected they had sprung from what he considered to be tainted blood. The wizarding Potter family had illustrious beginnings, however, some of which was hinted at in Deathly Hallows. In the Muggle world, Potter is an occupational surname, meaning a man who creates pottery. The wizarding family of Potters descends from the 12th century wizard Linfred of Stichcombe, a locally well-beloved and eccentric man whose nickname, the Potterer, became corrupted in time to Potter. Linfred was a vague and absent-minded fellow whose Muggle neighbors often called upon his medicinal services. None of them realized that Linfred's wonderful cures for pox and I don't know how to pronounce that name. Pronounce that word. Were magical. They all thought him a harmless and lovable old chap, pottering about in his garden with all his funny plants. His reputation as a well-meaning eccentric served Linfred well, for behind closed doors, he was able to continue the series of experiments that laid the foundation of the Potter family's fortune. Historians credit Linfred as the originator of a number of remedies that evolved into potions still used to this day, including Skele-Gro, And pepper up potion. Skeletor was used on Potter on Harry Potter when that man tried to fix his broken arm and instead took out all his bones in the Chamber of Secrets after that Quidditch game. His sales of such cures to fellow witches and wizards enabled him to leave a significant pile of gold to each of his 7 children upon his death. Ha! Linfred's eldest son, Hardwin, married a beautiful young witch by the name of Iolanthe Peveril, who came from the village of Godric's Hollow. She was the granddaughter of Ignotus Peveril. In the absence of male heirs, she, the eldest of her generation, had inherited her grandfather's invisibility cloak. It was Iolanthe who explained to Hardwin, a tradition in her family, that the possession of this cloak remained a secret, and her new husband respected her wishes. From this time on, the cloak was handed down to the eldest in each new generation. The Potters continued to marry their neighbors, occasionally Muggles, and to live in the west of England. For several generations, each one added to the family coffers by their hard work, and it must be said, by the quiet brand of ingenuity that had characterized their forebear, Linfred. Okay, so occasionally a Potter made it all the way to London, and a member of the family was twice sat on the Wizengamot. Ralston Potter, who was a member from 1612 to 1652, and who was a great supporter of the Statute of Secrecy as opposed to declaring war on the Muggles as more militant members wished to do, and Henry Potter, Harry to his intimates, who was a direct descendant of Hardwin and Iolanthe and served on the Wizengamot from 1913 to 1921. Henry caused a minor stir when he publicly condemned then Minister for Magic, Archer Evermond, who had forbidden the magical community to help Muggles waging the First World War. His outspokenness on behalf of the Muggle community was also a strong contributing factor in the family's exclusion from the Sacred 28. Henry's son was called Fleamont Potter. Fleamont was so called because it was the dying wish of Henry's mother that he perpetuate her maiden name, which would otherwise die out. He bore the burden remarkably well. Indeed, he always attributed his dexterity at dueling to the number of times he had to fight people at Hogwarts after they had made fun of his name. It was Fleamont who took the family gold and quadrupled it by creating magical Sleekeazy's hair potions. 2 drops tames even the most bothersome Barnet. He sold the company at a vast profit when he retired, but no amount of riches could compensate him or his wife, Euphemia, for their childlessness. They had quite given up hope of a son or daughter when, to their shock and surprise, Euphemia found that she was pregnant and their beloved boy James was born. Fleamont and Euphemia lived long enough to see James marry a Muggle-born girl called Lily Evans, but not to meet their grandson Harry. Dragonpox carried them off within days of each other due to their advanced age, and James Potter then inherited Ignotus Peveril's invisibility cloak. Okay. And that's Harry in the Mirror of Erised and all of his extended family that you see in the book. So here's the thing, though. Linfred had 7 children, and those children went on to have children. So what happened to those people? There should have still been some extended family in Harry's family. You're telling me all those people died out before Harry died, before Harry came along? All those people died. Every last one of those people died before Harry came along. So because they went on to talk about the one line, but they never explained what happened to the other lines. And I guess we're just supposed to assume that all of those lines died out too. But what But I'm just saying, his whole entire family, his whole entire Potter family died, is dead. He's the only Potter left now, except for his children. That just feels so sad. It feels so sad. So, and I guess maybe they said they all died out because what's his name, Fleamont and Euphemia were very old when James was born. So I guess everybody must have died out before James was born. This is me just filling in gaps because this page did not say that. This page did not say that. But yeah. So that is the answer I got to my question. That's what happened to the Potters. Apparently they all just died of old age. And it was down, even though the original line was 7 children, eventually it came down to just one line, and that line died out. They don't explain how it goes from 7 to 1. They just said it goes down to this one, and then one just died out. And it was down to James and Lily. And then James and Lily died. And now it's just Harry. But there should be other Potters out there. But that is it. That is all I'm going to talk about today. I'll be back on Wednesday. We'll be talking about Secret Invasion. And on Friday, there'll be a video about Mission Impossible, since Mission Impossible is coming out this weekend. I feel like that movie has been around my whole life. Mission Impossible. And I remember I used to watch the reruns with my dad. Mission Impossible, the movie, actually stems from a TV show that I think was on in the 60s or 70s. I don't know. But it was on a long time ago. Mission Impossible. And then they brought it back as a movie series with Tom Cruise when I was young. And now he's still making these movies. And he doesn't look like he's going to stop. So I'm going to make a Mission Impossible video on Friday. So all right. That is all. But in the meanwhile, thanks for watching.